Aye. All right, motion passes. The minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is old business, and we have none. So we will move on to new business. First item is the election of officers. So we have a ballot that we are going to fill out and give to Elizabeth.
If you just want to do the first one, we just did the second one just in case there was a tie.
Okay, all right. And so we'll fill these out and turn them into Elizabeth. Number 1, chairman. Number 2, vice chair. Number 3, secretary. Put all those on the sheet, then turn it into Elizabeth.
I'm going to pick them up, so
Elizabeth will come pick them up.
we don't have to get up.
You tally and read. Okay. Just a minute while I tally these.
You want me to read them off or do
You can, yeah.
Okay.
I'll repeat them, just, I'm sure
Okay.
back here.
So Chairman, Nicholas Grant. Vice Chair, David Hayden. And Secretary is William Thompson.
All right, so we have our new officers for 2025 into 2026. Congratulations, everyone. All right, remaining as chair, I'll continue going through the meeting. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for 308.
You want to accept those in the motion to accept
Okay,
those?
yep, need to do that.
Sorry,
yeah.
I just
All
got my
right,
list.
no, you're good. No, thank you. Yeah, I was actually a test. I was making sure. So, election of officers. Do we have a motion to accept those into the minutes?
Sure. Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have, by Don? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Lethal. All in favor? Aye. All right, the motion passes. Those are now the election of our new officers for the next upcoming year. All right, next item. Public hearing for 308 Porter Avenue, parcel ID number 613700005.000, requesting approval of variances from Porter Avenue corridor, 2-car enclosed garage facing Porter Avenue in lieu of a front porch and a minimum building elevation of 18 inches. William C. Barrett. Elizabeth, okay, Amanda?
I will.
Okay.
Yeah, so a
If you'll
little background
introduce.
story. Okay, so the subject property is located at 308 Porter Avenue. It's just north of Howard Avenue and west of William Street, and is in the Porter Avenue Overlay District. The map is located on page 5 of your packet. The property is approximately 9,055 square feet and is currently zoned CMX1 neighborhood commercial with a single-family residential dwelling. All properties to the east and west are also part of the Porter Avenue Overlay District. Porter Avenue is a highly visible entryway into the historic downtown area, and this district promotes small-scale office, retail, and residential uses, creating a streetscape that is pedestrian-friendly. On page 6 of your packet, you will see a section highlighted for the regulations of the buildings along the Porter Avenue Overlay District, which includes porches, that all primary buildings shall have at least one elevated porch, awning, enlarged building overhang, or similar treatment on the front facade. At least 50% of the front facade length shall be covered by a porch. The porch must be elevated at least 18 inches. And garage doors shall not be visible from Porter Avenue. So the applicant's here tonight requesting variances of the Porter Avenue corridor requirements, which include the 2-car enclosed garage facing Porter Avenue in lieu of having the front porch, and the minimum building elevation of 18 inches. Page 8 of your packet shows the site plan and that the applicant submitted. The image on the left shows the dwelling as is, and the image on the right shows the 2-car garage, the courtyard, and proposed landscaping. On the next page, you will find the front elevation as you would see it from Porter Avenue. The proposed addition, if approved tonight, will meet the required setbacks. And that concludes the staff report. I believe the applicant's here for any questions.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions for staff before we bring up the applicant to anything? All right, and if you'll come up, just state your name, address for the record. Yes, sir. And if there's anything else that you would like to add, kind of supplement that, just kind of getting you on the record.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Bill Barrett. That's my property. I think my case is, I've lived here for over 10 years. My case is that lot is, it's like a pie, kinda. It's sort of, and as you can see it from the other, you can see it kind of comes together. My fiance and I want to have a garage, an enclosed garage, and I've spent, I don't know how much time with my architect, a lot, trying to troubleshoot this to try to get, to try to stay within what was prescribed by the corridor, and we could not figure a way to do it without either incredible expense or some other areas that we would require to do what needs to be done. Our case is simply that the frontage to the house was, essentially doing a premium frontage to the house with high-end finishes and all that. I've walked up and down Porter again. I've run the city in and out around this entire city for over a decade. I've been anywhere and around that neighborhood for all that time. This would be the nicest house within any, within any area, close to that area. There's a lot of commercial there. Obviously, it's zoned residential and commercial. At my house as is has my carport facing the street. I mean, nobody's going to be able to, those houses around there, I think it seems difficult that anybody's not going to need a variance to be able to do any kind of improvements to the property or do any kind of building. And I just frankly don't want to knock the house down. And so the only thing we could think of was to ask for a variance. And this is our case. I think personally I'm pretty fond of it, and I think the finishes will be such that would add a lot of value to the city. I have certainly what I do for a living, and being here and not planning on leaving, I have a lot of interest in the quality of the housing being in that area and directly around me, but also just in general in this area being high end. It's good for the property value, and I think this would be a great addition to the neighborhood, and I think it would probably, frankly, the housing around me has not changed any since I've been there, and I think it might encourage others to maybe potentially, do renovations to their house, I hope, to add some value to the area. But I can answer any questions I had as far as if y'all have with regard to, work with my architect to try to come up with a site plan that would be at least as high end as I could, knowing that we were going to need some kind of variance. But that's my case. I don't even know knocking down the house I can even do it with how narrow the lot is. I don't know that I can do an improvement to that property without needing a variance. And my house is obviously at 18 inches. That can't happen because my house is, I would have to raise the whole house. That's impossible. So I already need one variance.
All right, thank you. So, I think you hit something, that it is a, really, it's a renovation and an addition.
Yeah. Everything will be everything is under the roof line except for the proposed garage area, which is going to be rather than my entryway is going to be like a court. It would be on the right side, which would be the southwest side, but would be a courtyard area with like wrought iron fencing and things like that, rather than having an entryway. So basically, the only way we could figure to do it where we weren't backing out, onto the street. And also another thing, I mean, I know you'll know this, but, you know, my actual property doesn't start until into my yard. So I mean, Porter goes into my yard, including mine and everybody on that curb in the road there. So I'm not even starting, like I can't even go out as far. We're still, this is set back further than I thought it would be when we started doing it. Started going through and measuring everything out. So that was the best we could do. So.
You know, this may be a question more for, I guess, staff and maybe building department. Well, let's just say do an addition, let's throw the car, you know, the garage aside, if he was doing any kind of other addition that, you know, he needed a side yard variance or something like that. Well, let's just say no variance needed. The 18-inch thing for the floor, that would really kick in if the value of the remodel is over a certain percent of the house. Does that, you know, what I'm familiar with is, you know, floodplains. So, you know, if you renovate a house that's in a floodplain, you don't have to elevate it above it unless the value is 50% of what your, or is greater than 50% of what the value of the house is. So if you're increasing your house's value by, you know, more than that, then you technically have to get it up out of the floodplain. Would that kick in for the 18 inches here, or, you know?
I think that's a separate, you
Yeah.
are thinking about the floodplain and FEMA maps, and if you're damaged in a storm, to have to elevate if you're 50% or more substantially damaged. So I see where you're going with that, but
Yeah.
I think this is just something different. It's actually the porch, I guess 18 inches above
That step,
the
yeah,
step,
yeah.
or the front porch step.
Yeah, but if this was strictly a renovation and he went to, you know, building department, no variance needed, would building department say, oh, you're in Porter Avenue district, you gotta raise this building 18 inches? Or would they say, no, it's a renovation, we're just gonna let you renovate it because you're not building a new construction? So I'm wondering if that requirement, because it is a renovation, could go away because it's a renovation.
I don't know how to answer for the building department.
Yes,
Here, what
yeah.
I
space
still
they look
would have,
at.
just knowing
Right.
a little bit about some regulations, stuff like that, I would have come here and asked, I would have thought to have come here and asked, because, I mean, frankly, what the house would appraise for and what any additions I do, just the way the market is, like, there's no way there's not 50%, like, there's no way we're not getting to that.
Right.
And so, I mean, frankly, I didn't see any, I'm not sure I could have asked for any, I could have done any plans where I didn't ask for a variance. That was that's my perception of that.
I don't, now, this is just my opinion, I don't feel like that 50% would count, because like you said, it's not, the house is still intact. So then they're just, like you said, they're just adding something on, so I don't think they would have to take that into consideration. Because I know when I did menace cases over at Jackson County, and, you know, a house was damaged more than 50%, then you had to lift. But since there's no damages done, I don't see that applying for this.
So I'll throw away the addition portion of this and just say you're doing interior renovations. Would the 18-inch thing apply then?
Yeah,
You have to
it
come get a
says
variance.
The ordinance
just-
says the
Yeah.
porch or porches must be elevated at least 18 inches. So it's just the front porch.
Yeah.
It's not even the whole building. And at least 50% of the front facade length shall be covered by a porch. That's what the 50% and the 18 inches is mentioned, so.
You know,
Clarify. a little bit.
just maybe, you know, trying to find that, hey, does this technically even apply? I just know some of those, you know, there's little nuances, you know, in the code that this applies, but only if, you know.
Right.
Okay. All right, anybody else, any questions for the applicant, or?
Yeah, this is just, so when was the house built?
I think it's 60,
60s?
62,
60s is
64.
fine, 60s,
Yeah,
yeah.
mid-60s, that's right. And there was I believe, an addition before, or on the back, somewhat of a renovation and an addition on the top, so here, but it would be like, I guess that would be kind of the south end back, I want to say around 2010, I believe, 2008, 2010, something like that, they added on to the back. It's a 60s house. It's
Right,
small in there, and I think they added on the back in there, and then did like a porch on the back. And really and you see on the left, which is the original, which is the house as it stands, everything that we're doing essentially is within the roof, except for what we're adding on to what we wanted to add to the front, which was the carport. But everything else is underneath existing roof, or underneath with existing. We're just adding. There's the back, the top and the right of what's existing is open, like a screening porch. So that would be, those walls would be solid walls.
Do you know the elevation there?
I do not. I perceive it to be. I mean, I've lived on the coast real. I perceive it to be something around 30 feet.
30 feet?
I'm guessing right there because when I look,
That's not 30 feet, but that's more curiosity.
I was thinking between 20 and 30 feet. When I look from there to the bridge from where I am, that'd be my guess is about between 20 and 30 feet. Would be there. We're not in a flood zone or anything like that. Higher than my parents' house during Katrina.
Yeah.
So
Where's your parents' house?
2nd Street, Gulfport.
Oh, yeah.
And they got like 25 feet. They got it all in their house. So.
Any other questions for the applicant? All right. All right, and you can have a seat. If something else comes up, we'll bring you back up. So thank you. All right. Any further discussion, questions for staff? Anyone like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the variance request for parcel number 613-70005.000 located at 308 Porter Avenue.
All right, and so this is, set up as a public hearing. So we'll do does this just straight up go to the board, or is there some kind of
This one will,
open?
because there was no public
Okay,
feedback or anything like that. The only reason we did it as a public hearing is because it is a major variance.
okay,
Rather than just the 25% of what is allowed usually. So that's why we did it as a public hearing, just so that way nobody felt like we were cheated out of hearing it or anything
No one
like
made
that.
any comments, no.
No comments were
No
received.
comments.
But y'all mailed the neighbors letters.
500-foot buffer, and we also put a sign out in his front yard, and we do a legal ad for it.
Oh, what?
A legal ad in the newspaper.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was a public hearing. If anything that's a public hearing has to go in the newspaper as well. Plus also too, we put it up on our board up there, so, but we haven't got anything from it, so.
okay. All right, and David, I apologize. Your motion was to approve the variance for the Porter Avenue corridor overlay restrictions to allow a two-car enclosed garage facing Porter in lieu of front porch and the minimum building elevation of 18 inches. It was for both of those?
That is correct.
Okay, all right, so we have a motion on the floor to approve the variances. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, so David motion, second by Will. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All nay. All right, so the motion passes. You will be on the agenda for Board of Aldermen next Tuesday, the 16th.
Should I be there for that?
It'll be on consent agenda. I can't say for sure, whether or not. Usually consent agenda approvals go through, but.
It's my first time to ask.
Yeah. If it was a denial, I would say be there, but approval.
Yeah, so on the consent agenda, we do list items, and if any alderman has any questions about any of those items, they can pick and choose, I want to pull item S, and then we can discuss it and talk about it.
If it would be best to be there, I probably can get away from work. Is it I forget what time? What time?
6 p.m.
6. I could probably swing by. The one thing I was gonna say was that there's been some great people have done some great things in that area right there. There's so many things that are not that. This is not a comment about my place. It's just a comment about that corridor. It's so varied now. I don't know that it's possible to make it what the corridor. Like I like that. I don't dislike what it says. it's so varied through there that I don't know that it could ever be that. With the beatnik there and with the way like Ricky's places and all these different places, which I like all those things and I love that. I don't know, like even when you're like, well, you can't have your carport facing the street, the way the curve is, your carport faces the street regardless, like, and for me, if you did it on one side of the street, it would still kind of be facing this side, this part of the street, so I don't know, I'm not sure that there's any way to do it without some sort of variance. That's not a comment about mine, it's just, it's difficult to build, but
That's
not,
right.
you know.
And most people don't drive compact cars, so for me to fit my F-250, I'm gonna have to go straight to, you know.
Our Bronco, my F-150, and
That's right.
you know, and I'm ensconced here. I'm here for this. You know, it would be difficult to do what in any version of this would be difficult to do. And like I said, my architect's great, and he didn't go no. I've got 20 sets of plans back and forth trying to make this work, and at some point we just threw our hands up. So, but yeah. I'll be here on next week at 6 o'clock if I can.
All right, thank you.
All right, is that all that I need for today?
That's it, you're good, yes, sir.
Y'all are terrific. I appreciate all of you.
You're welcome, have a good one.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is audience request, and our audience has vacated the room, so none of those. Next item is to adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Don. Do we have a second? Second Will, all in favor? Aye. Motion is adjourned. Thank you.
What is the location?
Oh, no, I was trying to see if I could pull it up on my phone, but,
I mean, like if he said if he's in a flood zone X, I mean, he's not.
What is the responsibilities of the secretary?
There's a reason for.
There should be a section, is there something in the bylaws, I believe?
In the bylaws?
that tells
Alright.
your-
It's actually a shaded X, so there is